Hi everybody, welcome to Missy's Imaginings. I hope you're doing well. It's been very, very busy here and lots going on. I've had lots of overtime. So when I have been home, I've been trying to give my hands a break. At work, I work in manufacturing. I sew for production, and it's very strenuous on our hands, and I've probably mentioned a little bit about it before, but since we've been working a lot of overtime, the time that I have been home on the weekends, I've just wanted to let my hands rest. So I have lots of projects going, but I haven't got a lot of them finished. So I thought today we can just kind of relax, hang out. We'll call it a sew and chat. I'm not sure actually how much sewing I'll be doing, but we'll see if we can get something accomplished. I have a few things on the burners at present. The main thing that I do want to work on are some more of these cute little backpacks that I made, and this has my logo on it, and they're in black and a color, kind of color blocked. And I still need to finish the inside of this one, but they actually open and they will be lined. Well, they're lined inside, but I need to finish that one seam. And then for your happy little dollies, they also have elastic straps. So no matter what kind of little dolly you want to put this on, it should be able to work because there's stretch in the straps. So I have a few of these I want to get done for the next event, which is the Resin Rose BJD Expo in Portland. It's up by Clackamas at the Monarch Hotel. So I'm getting some of these ready for that show. It's been a long time since I've done that show. I did it years and years and years ago. Weird thing, it had been really, really hot, and so I thought, well, I want my van to go ahead and be parked where it's a little bit shady in the afternoon so it won't get quite so hot. And when we went to leave, it surprisingly had rained. So after all that hot weather and then it rained, the trees soaked in all that moisture in their roots and instantly dropped all their sap, and so my van looked like someone had poured honey all over the windshield of my car. And it wasn't honey, it was sap. And so then we had to get a dry paper towel and try to smear enough to where I could see a little bit and look out the window to try to drive around the corner to Target so we could go in and get apple cider vinegar and alcohol to try to get this stuff off my window so I could drive home. So I won't be making that mistake again. I will not be parking under those trees. And so yeah, that was the adventure at the first Resin Rose doll show. But that was many, many years ago, and so I'm excited to do this event again. And hopefully some of you will be able to come by the table and say hello. And so that is the project I'm working on for that event. Then I still have the outfit I want to put together for Kadira, which she was one of my latest acquisitions. And so I have this lovely lace that I have shown and talked about before when I first got it, but I just got some of these really pretty floral lace pieces that you can cut out the parts that you want for applique. So there's one in silver and gold, and then another with gold, blue, and pink. So I've had some ideas of the colors and the way I want to put her pattern together. And so that's another project that's in the works. And I want to use one of these. It'll probably be, of course, pink and blue and gold, but we'll see. And then also I've been wanting to get some more wigs made for the event if I have time. So I actually scheduled to have Friday off this week so that I could have some time to finish up a couple of these projects and then get the car loaded and everything before we head up there on Saturday. So that's kind of some things in the midst of what I'm working on. And but while I was planning on this, my poor little Kadira didn't have anything to wear, and I made a fantastic discovery. I don't know why, it just kind of popped into my brain, and I thought, well, I should try this. And lo and behold, I discovered that my lovely little Kadira can wear rainbow high clothing. Look at this. It fits her like a glove. It's just, and even the shoes will go on her feet. And they're a little bit wider than her feet. Her feet are very narrow, but they'll go on her feet and they look like, she's wearing them, she's standing. And then the little bags that come with the Mini Fashion brand are a perfect size for her. So while I'm working on some things for her to wear, she has things to wear. So I was so excited. And then she is a little bit taller than the Rainbow High. We'll go ahead and take a look at the comparison of the little Rainbow High. Is much shorter and a little bit wider, but the extra width works well for Kadira because she also has a very unique extreme hourglass figure. So the fashions for the little Rainbow High actually work really well for her. They're just a little bit short, but they're kind of short on these girls as well. So yeah, I thought that was fun that she does have clothing she can wear while she's waiting on me. So if you have one of these lovely Kadiras, or you're considering getting one, there's still some on the secondhand market, then there is an avenue of clothing available if you like Rainbow High fashions. And I think some of these fashions either came with a doll or they came in the little clear acrylic doll trunk. And there are some fashions you can get on Amazon still for these dolls. So yeah, so there's a whole avenue of clothing for her to wear. So I was excited about that. It gives her something to wear while she's waiting, and she can be displayed and doesn't have to be naked. So there we go. My first order of business in finishing up these bags is putting together some bias tape for finishing off the seams. And so that's kind of what I've been working on this morning. I cut a bunch of these strips and now I'm sewing them together, and then I'll need to press them. But I just wanted one long continuous roll. And so here's a little helpful hint if you're going to make bias tape. When you're sewing ends together, you always want to make sure that you maintain the right side of the fabric and the wrong side of the fabric as far as where your seams go, so that you don't have some of your seams are clean seams and then some of your seams have a seam allowance showing because you sewed it on the wrong side. So just kind of watch that when you're putting it together. And then also in sewing ends together, you never want to match the ends of your fabric, because when you do that, you're going to add a 1/4 inch seam. So here's a ruler holding down our seam. And if you match the ends of the fabric, once you open it, your bias tape isn't going to line up. And you're only going to end up with a little bit of bias tape because you're going to have to cut this off. So for anyone who is new to sewing, when you're going to sew bias tape together and you've got your ends, you're going to line up the fabric so that these little points extend, because the part you're matching up is the actual seam. You want where the seam is, that's going to be where your fabrics come together. Oh, it's kind of lumpy there. So then when you sew it and then you open it up, then your bias tape will line up correctly. So just a helpful hint if you're new to sewing and you're going to try making some of your own bias tape, and so you've got some long strips, some short strips. Keep that in mind when you're putting them together. So this here, I'm not worrying about back tacking because it's all going to be ironed and folded in. So there we go. So these little points extend, but now when you open it up, our fabric lines up correctly. So yeah, just a little helpful hint if you're making bias tape. And here you can see I've got my seam allowance is on the same side of the fabric, so I won't end up with seams on the wrong side. So here's my last piece. I don't like to use lots and lots of yardage to make bias tape, and so I cut kind of shorter strips and then just put them together, because that way I'm not using up as much yardage. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna do this and get this folded and then work on my little backpacks. I kind of made a list of what we want to chat about as we're putting things together, so that it might help keep me on track. Sometimes I tend to really ramble when I'm doing things. So yeah, I actually have a list. So first we have this, and I also have to make some other, like prizes. So I thought the backpacks might be prizes for the show that I'm doing, but I'm not sure if I'll just keep the backpacks at my table and then on the door prize table, and then I'll put some clothing that I already have done on the donation table, just because my time factor has been kind of limited with a lot of the overtime that we've been doing. So now I'm just trimming off all these little tips because I don't really want them on my finished bias tape. So I'm just going to trim them off before I press it. My iron is already hot. So here I have all the ends trimmed off of all these little pieces. So now we get to press it and turn it into bias tape. So first I'll be pressing open the seams and then fold it in half and press it and fold in my ends. I might get my little bias tape maker, see if I can find it, and use that to make it go quicker, but then I'll roll it up and yeah, we'll have this ready. So I've got that much done, and I'm not sure about if I'm going to get to wigs or not today, because I have lots and lots of fur. I'm so excited to have a really good variety of fur, but I don't know if I'll have time. Okay, so I finished my bias tape, so it's all rolled up here, and yeah, that'll do just fine to finish the inside of my little backpack. So here, I want to get them all finished before I do the insides, but so once you put it together, there's this seam that shows, and that's what the bias tape is for, is to finish and to cover all these little seams. So yeah, so that's what I needed the bias tape for. But I have a bunch of the work done already, and so hopefully it won't take a super long time to put these together. This one got a little puckery over here, but they're just cute. Just some fun little things. So I have them in colors, and this was the funny thing. I thought, what color am I going to do? So, logically, right? I picked colors that all appear in the logo. So there we go. So I've got all these little purples and pinks and blues and green, because there's some leaves in there. So, yeah, so there we go. That's what my color choices were. Little logo colors. But I have this much done on the 5 that I need to finish. Then I have the zipper sections done, and this one I just need to finish trimming off the zipper part. So let's see, I'll go up here, I guess, see if I can cut that off. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. So I had to get the bias tape finished, and then maybe I need my cheaper scissors. I don't want to ruin these. So I'll do that. Then I have to go to the bank today and get change. So I'll have that to do. So I do have a little bit of like out and about. And then I think I need to get some snacks, because we have to have snackage if we're going to be sitting at the show all day. There we go. So that's done. And then this is my little facing pieces. So that's all done. So yes, I'm working on these. I also have some pants that I wanted to do, but I know I won't get to those in time. So that's kind of sad. But I guess we do what we can when we can, right? So right now, while this is just on camera, I'm changing out my thread because I want to sew with black thread. And I did a lot of this at work, so it has a really heavy duty thread, which is like this. But I don't know if this will feed through my machine very well to do the rest, so we'll have to use just normal thread. So I'm changing out my machine, and I thought my biggest dilemma about the doll show at present is, what dolls do I want to take to the show? That's the big question. So I don't know. I don't know which dolls I need to bring. I have the question mostly is, do I want to bring dolls that are for sale and run those on the table, or do I want things on the table that are just for display? So I'm not sure. I should lift up my arm a little bit. And yeah, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Oh, and I got a light thing for under here, because as you can see, this one is out. And I was gonna change it and just take it out and go get a new bulb, but upon inspection I discovered it's actually wired in. You can't really, I mean, I can take it off this little fixture, but I can't get the bulb out. I tried, and it's all wired in there. So I think I'm gonna have to take it to the sewing machine repair shop. And oh, the foot actually stayed up. A lot of times my foot won't stay up, so that has to be looked at. And then once in a while, you've probably heard it on other videos, the belt will just go crazy and start screaming at me. So I think it needs a new belt. So it needs a new belt, a new bulb, and a look at the foot to get the foot to stay up each time, because it doesn't always. Sometimes I can get it to stay up, but not always. So yeah, the old sewing machine things. So yeah, there we go. Change that thread out. I don't know if these kinds of videos are going to be anything that anyone is interested in watching, but here we go. We'll give it a shot. And sometimes I just feel bad with all the overtime that I work. Then it's hard because I don't have time to do a lot of filming and other things because my hands hurt. And I'm just looking here at, let's see, if this is the front, then I want the zipper to go like this. So let's see. So if that's connected here, it'll go around. Okay. So I'm going to place the zipper this way. All right. So we have the zipper in place. And what's interesting enough is that I'm going to sew this on this end. Let's see, we'll match that up. And then put this in place. There we go. And to sew, well, to make this whole little backpack, it's not my pattern. So I'm not claiming that. The backpack itself is from another YouTuber who has it on a little DIY project video. And so, yeah, if you want to see how to make it, I will link her video below. And she has lots and lots of cute, really cute crafts and projects that you can make. But it is not my pattern. It is not my project. I am just making her project, but I thought it was really cute. So I will link that below, but we're going to sew those ends together. And I think I'm not going to pin that. I think I'm just going to do one at a time. And we'll see how I can get through my machine with the, I'm not even going to use clips. It's just too much to try to hold when it doesn't want to hold evenly. So we'll just feed it in there. But yeah, so this was another channel, and I was just looking through my YouTube feed and I saw this and I thought, that is so adorable. I love it. So I thought, I'm going to try making one. And so I made one, and we're also going to use the pattern as a fundraiser for just a fun keepsake type item, because they're so cute. I'm going really slow and just hand turning my wheel because of the zipper, because these are metal zippers and I don't want to break a needle. And I am going to reinforce this by sewing down and back. So when I get to the zipper, I'll hand feed that again. But yeah, it's just such a cute little idea that turns out just adorably. So yeah, I'll link that video, and then if you want to make one, you can go to her channel and find out how to do that. But that's why I'm not going to go over a lot of the how-tos and measurements, because it's on her channel and it turns out really cute. So now we're going to do the other end here. And now that this one is secure, then I don't have to worry about it coming undone with the clips. So, and I did have a little extra on the zipper. I may end up having to trim those off when I put the bias tape on, but we'll see. And I could feasibly clip this and try to hold it in place, but I think I'm just going to use my fingers and go over it. So here we go. Yeah, I think that'll work. Anchor that one a little bit. Okay, so now I'll line this up as I come down. But yeah, so I thought I need to get some of these finished, and I don't have a lot of them to make, so hopefully they'll go quickly. And I don't have to sew on any closures, because obviously it has a zipper, so that part's already done. So I thought, well, I can get these finished up for the show, and then I'm going to need to go to the bank and to the store, and then I need to decide who is coming to the show with me for my table. So yeah, I don't know. I still haven't decided. This is really bad because I mean I have to load up the car today and I still haven't decided that. Alright, so the next thing I need to do is to sew, let's see. No, it's to flip it out. There we go. Okay. Oh, yeah. And this is turning out better than I thought, because upon this step I realized I don't need to trim those zippers because they're going to be hidden here, which is wonderful, because then I don't have to worry about it coming undone because it's anchored. So we're going to top stitch this little part here, pull it snug. But yeah, I think I might bring Kadira if I want to show her off, but I don't know. I don't know yet. And then I've had some ideas on what to do for her outfit, which I love the idea of sewing those really pretty pieces of lace. Why is this not feeding through? There we go. At least I'm still in the seam allowance. I'm not sure why it's not catching in my feed dogs. There we go. So, and then I'll have to slowly go over the zipper. There we go. But yeah, so I'm excited about using those laces. I've been saving them just for the right project. And I don't know, there's something about her that I think warrants those fancy laces. That's what I think. There we go. And Yeah, so I still have her outfit to do. I haven't even started cutting yet. I'm just going on some ideas of what I want. I think on the coat part, I have some of this material that's in kind of a buttery, creamy color, and it's really pretty. And I think I've been debating on using that, which is why I want the one with more gold and pink and blue in the lace, because I think the silver might clash with it. But yeah, so that's what I have for ideas on her outfit, is kind of this faux leather fabric that will be involved in the coat. Boy, it does not like the idea of, I wonder if I can, going over this part. Come on. I think it's because of my foot doesn't want to slide over this very well. All right, and we have the zipper. Ooh, I can feel that, and it just broke my thread. Of course it did. Of course it did. So yeah, so I have her outfit that I need to work on for a video, which will be fun, but it will have to be after I get back from the show. So we have that coming up. I need to make some pants, and I have some fabric that I wanted to use, and I had originally purchased the fabric for a skirt. And so when I looked at my pants pattern, I thought, oh, I don't have enough for pants, because it's a really nice pinstripe denim, and oh great, I don't have enough length to make pants. But I do have some extra denim from another, well, two different kinds of denim that I have, and I thought I could color block in my pants, because I have an idea in my head, and I thought that would be really cool. See, in here again, you can see how my foot won't stay up. I lift it and it just snaps down. So that's the issue. That has to go to the machine. All right, so we'll try this again. And I think I'm just going to sew over the top of this rather than try to take it out. We're just going to go over the top. Here we go. All right. All right, let's just go, shall we? Okay. Now we will begin to walk over the zipper and try it again. So yeah, so I think I'm going to be color blocking my pants with those two types of denim, and I think that'll look really cool. I don't know, but you know what? I'm at the age where if it's not really cool, I don't care. It's terrible. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so anyway, so I have that project coming up that I need to get that done. And also when it comes to sewing things for myself, I have some other ones cut out, but I need to put together some pajama shorts that I have. I lost my scissors. Oh, they're on the floor. So I need to put together some pajama shorts that I already have cut out. They've been cut out for ages. I think that's, I don't know. You can let me know in the comments. One of my personal sewing issues is that I tend to love getting things cut out, but I don't like actually taking the time to put them together. So a lot of my things, they've been cut out for ages, and I just have never put them together. So I have all this stuff cut and waiting to be assembled. And even for doll clothes, I have a whole bunch of pants for the Tonner matte body style, and I think I even have some shirts and some, oh, what else is there? I think sport jackets. So I don't know, maybe we should do another sew and chat, and I'll just actually finish some projects that have been waiting for my attention for a long time. So let's go ahead and first we're going to increase the stitch length because that is unnecessary. There is that tiny stitch length. Alright, so yeah, so I don't know, too many projects, not enough time, and so now I'll get this little guy sewn to the facing, which I really like the order that she puts this little project together. And don't worry, this seam is not going to show. It's just to hold the facing and the vinyl together. But I like the order that she puts this together because it's very simple and it goes together pretty fast. Especially when I have so much of it already done. That makes it nice. But yeah, so I have doll things I need to work on. I have projects for me that need to be put together. I tell you. And then sometimes I just need to rest my hands. Here, we'll go around this. And I'm staying inside a seam allowance here. Some people will stitch right on the seam allowance, but I kind of like to allow for error and not stitch right on my seam allowance, so I'm kind of stitching inside the seam allowance. But yeah, and then, oh, here's the deal. I'm sorry, I know these little guys are good for the world, but I absolutely hate spiders. I'm sorry. I just hate spiders. And the other night it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. Of course, I did have to get up in a couple hours to go to work. And so here's what our little guy's gonna look like, the purple one. Oh, it's gonna be cute. There we go. Yeah. So I woke up and my legs were cramping, and I think it's because I work on like industrial machines, and I didn't find the center of my zipper. I need to do that. I'm gonna need different scissors though. So I woke up, and you know, I'm an old lady, so I wake up and I'm cramping on my legs really bad, so I grab the Bengay, do the thing, and I think, okay, yep, middle of the night, take care of all the issues you take care of in the middle of the night. And so I'm finally ready. I'm gonna go right back in my bed and go back to sleep because I still have some sleep time left. And I look up and there is this giant spider above my head, and I thought, okay, nope, that's not gonna happen. I am not going back to bed with that thing above my head. So, but of course it's in the edge crease of where the wall meets the ceiling, and so I can't reach it. So now I have to go in another room to get a chair so that I can, you know, reach this spider. But here's the deal, because I have so much sewing material and doll materials in here, I can't let my little cats in my room because the racking I have is metal baker's racks, and I haven't done any like shelf lining materials yet. I have stuff to do at another project, but I haven't done it yet. And so I don't want them trying to jump onto those racks because they could hurt themselves. If they jump up there, their feet can go between the wiring of the rack shelves, and they could get hurt. And then if they do make it up there and then they get startled and they want to jump off really fast, their leg can get caught. So now we just go around it. And they could get hurt really bad. So I don't want them in here. And plus they just get up on top of things that have stuff displayed, and yeah. So I have to get out of my room without letting the cats in and and get a chair, and then get back in my room and get the chair in the room. Let's see, do I want to switch out a foot? I think I might. So before I put this together, I'm going to do these other ones. yeah, so I have to do all that. So this is at 1 in the morning, remember? So I have to go out of my room without letting the cats in because they want in. Then I have to go into another room and get a chair. And then I have to bring the chair back down the hallway and try to get back in my room with the chair without getting the cats in my room so that I can get it in my room and then I can get the spider. So finally, I managed all that to get the spider. And so I get the spider, and I don't like to just try to smash them because they're really fast and they run at you, and I hate that. And so I use a cup, and here we go. I'll take this little guy. So I use a cup, and oh, what's that? Dust. Wonderful. Okay, there we go. So I'll trap the spider like that, and then I'll use like a cardboard or stiff paper and go under like this, and then I'll go like that, and then I'll get the spider in there, and then I can either flush him down the toilet or take him outside or whatever. But that's how I get a spider. So I get the spider, and I'm headed to the bathroom because it's 1 in the morning, and I'm not going to deal with this any longer than I have to. And I look up, and as I'm walking to the bathroom, which is off of my bedroom, it's off the master room, I look, and by the door of my room, there's another spider. Oh my stars. So I have to deal with the first spider. Then I have to go back and do it again and get another spider. Ugh. So yeah, so that was my 1 o'clock in the morning fiasco. Oh, spider hunting at 1 in the morning. Oh, but then finally I was able to get all that taken care of so that I could go back to bed. Oh my word. Yeah. So anyway, there you go. There's an adventure. Wow. Now, here's the big question for everybody. Have you started getting ready for Christmas yet? It's coming up, people. It's coming up. I have not. I should, but I have not. Okay, and I did it like this, right? Yeah, like that. And I determine, like every year, I'm going to get ready early. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be on the ball. I'm going to get ready early. And then sometimes I do, but a lot of times I don't. So this year I'm thinking, all right, what do I want to do for Christmas? And I did have one idea, and I actually already got the item. And I could tell you because my daughter never watches my channel. So I could tell you what I'm going to do. But this was another thing somebody found on either TikTok or Instagram. I'm not sure. And my one daughter loves little ducks in her kitchen. And it's so cute because it reminds me of, you know, like in the, what was it, like the mid 80s, like early to mid 80s, when everyone had ducks in their kitchens. Yeah, it's the funniest thing, but she loves them. And so she has all these little ducks in her kitchen. So the item was a little figurine of a duck, you know, like for your kitchen or whatever, but someone had made, they'd crocheted a little strawberry outfit for the duck. It was so cute. And then a little green tuft to be like the leaves and the stem for a hat. So it had just like a little sock thing that went over the duck, and then a little hat that went on its head, so it looked like it had a little strawberry outfit. And it was so cute. So I thought, okay, that's what I'm going to do for my daughter. I'm going to make her a little strawberry duck for her kitchen. It's the cutest little thing. So I got the duck, and it came, and holy cow, what is with the price of duck figurines? It's not even that big, and it was a lot. I was like, why are these so expensive? It's a duck. And there were places, I was trying to be careful to only shop items that shipped from the US, because I don't have the time and energy to deal with all the possibilities of tariff stuff and all that, whatever's going on. So maybe that's why it was a little more expensive, because I was shopping in US vendors to make sure that it would just come from somewhere in the States. but it was like, wow, this is pretty expensive for a goofy little duck. But nevertheless, it got here safely. It's really cute, and I'm going to be making a strawberry outfit for it. And then I thought, why not make a couple outfits, you know, like seasonal? Like, wouldn't it be cute to do a pumpkin? Because then she would have it for Halloween. So I thought, well, that would be cute. So, yeah. So I've got this whole thing that I'm going to do for Christmas. And I'm ahead of the game because I do have the duck. So there we go. So even if it's small steps, baby steps, and get ready for Christmas, it's a baby step that's done. So, another thing I love to do for Christmas is to do soap making. And I love to do designs in both melt and pour soap and cold process soap. So I do have some supplies coming for that. And the main thing that I needed was fragrances. So a lot of my fragrances I got from Nature's Garden. So I have those on the way. I've also gotten some fun little molds to feature in some of my soaps. And then I've also, I keep grabbing the thread from my spool over here. There we go. And anyway, yeah, I just lost my train of thought. But I have that stuff coming. And, oh, some like cocoa butter and different kinds of butters to add in the soap and different kinds of oils that will be in my soap. So I've gotten some of that ordered and it'll be on the way. I was going to start in our little conversation here about soap making, but my camera, it only films in like 29-minute increments, and so it had stopped and I wasn't aware of that. So I have been able to get the green one done and the little pink one ready, then the lavender one that I started with, and now this is a little bit of a medium purple color that we're working on. But yeah, so my camera had stopped, so yeah, so if it looks kind of choppy, that's why. But so yeah, I'm excited about making soaps, but I do need to get a start on those because it's a long way before Christmas, but the cold process soap needs 6 weeks to cure. And during that curing time, during that curing time, the soap finishes saponifying, and it also displaces extra water, so then the soap bars become more firm and less likely to dissolve in a moist environment. So like if you keep soap in your shower, then all that excess moisture can kind of help disintegrate your soap. So if you start out with a bar that's a little bit harder, then it just kind of helps to keep it a little bit longer. So yeah, so it does need that curing time. So that is another project coming down the road. I don't know if you'd like to watch soap making, but I think when it comes to soap making, I will stick with recommending some soap makers that I like to watch. A couple in particular are Royalty Soaps. Katie does an amazing job, and she has classes that are free. Her soap recipe is free. I've been using it for a long time, and she is just a delight. So if you want to watch someone who knows what they're doing when it comes to making soap, I highly recommend Royalty Soaps. Also, I think it's Ophelia's Soapery. I think that's the name of the channel. And both of them, I have purchased their soaps, and they do a fantastic job. So I think I will stick to recommending people who know what they're doing and who give very sound and safe advice and have designs that are beautiful. And I'll let you go from there with that rather than filming my soap making, because I'm a little bit messy And I am safe. I do use my safety gear. So if Katie ever sees this, she can rest assured. I have goggles to protect my eyes. I have gloves. I wear sleeves. I wear long pants. I wear closed-toed shoes. And I shoo everyone out of my kitchen. And I always, when I'm mixing my lye water solution, I always have it lowered in the sink. I don't do it up on the counter where it can tip over and spill. It's in the sink, so any excess possibilities would be in the sink. So I do that in a safe manner because I don't want anything to go wrong with using chemicals that can be dangerous. So yeah, so all my safety stuff is always on, and yeah, we keep it very, very safe when we're doing soap. But anyway, so that's another thing coming up, another project, of course. And I like to get it done early, like I say, so that everything can cure in time for the holidays. So it has to be done ahead of time. So that's another thing coming around the corner that I will be getting ready for the holidays. And so though I'm not, you know, ready for Christmas months and months early, I've started my ball rolling. So that's a good thing. So yeah. Then I have some videos that will be coming for just a little bit of an expansion on the English class that I did recently. I taught English for a long time, and well, I taught for a long time, and I've had some of my previous students and also the school that I used to work in that have at different times requested my materials or asked questions about English. So I thought, well, I'll just make a video and then anyone can access it at any time they need to. And so that's why I made that. And then I did have someone who would like a little bit of, here we go, I'm just looking at this as I do it, a little bit of in-depth work on doing the handouts that are available in the materials. And so we will be making videos about that. But I will also have dolly stuff still coming, so if you're not really into English grammar, you don't need to think, oh, I can't watch her channel because all she's doing is English. So there will still be a little bit of this and that for viewing. But if you are interested in that, there will be some of those coming. Just because the handouts kind of deal with specific parts of speech at a time, just to give a little bit of concentrated effort. So for example, there's a worksheet that's specifically on nouns. There's one that's specifically on verbs. There's one that's specifically on prepositions, just to kind of give a little bit of extra in-depth work on those things and learning to recognize them. So that will be coming up as well. And then also some more sewing videos and projects that are in the works. So yeah, so all that stuff is coming, and a little bit of everything. I had asked my daughter about, should I start another channel for English, and so that it's not kind of invasive in our little dolly world. But it was cute. She said, well, you know, your channel is called Missy's Imaginings. So, you know, loving English and teaching English is part of who you are. So I would keep it on your regular channel, and then it's part of your imaginings. So I thought that was a cute observation that she made. So I thought, okay. So yeah, but I may end up, if I do, you know, several videos on that subject, I'll do a playlist, and that way if people are specifically wanting the English materials and English videos, they can use the playlist to have easier access to that. So yeah, so that'll be coming as well. Then I'm not sure how this happened, and making these little bags reminded me of it, but it's so funny. I have a friend who her soon-to-be daughter-in-law, and you know who you are, has a collection of fancy bags. And though I've never been one, I mean, I love high fashion. I love creating looks, you know, for my dolls, and I've never really done it for myself. But when we've been working all this overtime, and we were talking, and this the person she knows has a collection of very high-end designer bags, and I thought, you know, I am working all this overtime, and I love high fashion. I love this stuff. I want a fancy bag. And so I actually bought one. and I thought, you know what? I'm going to get this bag. And I will say, I'm not the type of person to spend $3,000 on a bag. I won't do that. But I do like a fancy bag, and I will shop secondhand market to find things that I like and keep life in them and help sustain our world. And so I did go and found a bag secondhand, and I bought it, and I love it, and it's so cute. So I got that, and then I don't know what it is with the world we live in and our phones and our computers, and of course I post on YouTube, but somehow the internet finds out what's going on. And so then I got ads for a specific designer's bag line, and I thought, I really like those, and they were on sale, and I thought, they're not that expensive, and I thought, I want one of these bags. So I got to looking excuse me, and I actually found two that were in the kind of the same design aesthetic, in that they had like the same color scheme and stuff like that. And I thought, oh, I love that one too. And they were both on sale, so I ended up getting them. So I ended up with these, the one bag that I got first, and then these two. And then my daughter found one of the bags in the same design line and color scheme that she got for me for Christmas, and I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I doing? But then I saw another bag, and I've used them all. Well, I'll say that, I'll back up. I've used all but two. So I got a different kind of designer bag, and I thought, well, that's fun. And I don't know how this happened. How did I turn into a bag lady? I don't know. But I love them. I love them. And then, of course, I had to, I had been waiting and waiting, because on the first drop I couldn't get it. It sold out. But I was able to get V of BTS. He designed a Boston bag, and I was able to get that bag when they did a second drop. And I love that bag. It's just gorgeous. And so, yeah, I'm like, oh my goodness, when did this happen? And why am I loving it so much? It's like, oh my goodness. But yeah, I don't know how that happened. But these little, oh, and I hit the wrong button. Sorry. All right. Well, let's blow it up here again and just sync, and there we go. But yes, putting these little backpacks together kind of reminded me of, lately I've been a little into bags. I don't know why, but I think it all started when we were talking about the little gal that has, you know, pretty bags, and she had gotten one for someone for a gift or something, and the whole conversation just inspired me, and I thought, you know, I'm working on this overtime, and I want one of these pretty little bags. So yeah, so now I have too many, but there again, I use them, so there we go. My new thing, I don't know. I did make a bag at one point, and that was fun, and I might still make some more. Actually, I've made a couple different kinds of bags. One was just kind of a little utility tote bag with some pockets, and I made one for myself and I use it at work to carry like some of my sewing tools and stuff like that. But then I also thought, oh, these are fun. So I made a whole bunch that were for a fundraiser, and all the proceeds went to a charity organization and to help people. And then some of them were gifts. So I did do those kind of bags, which was fun. And then I have the one that I did and I gave it as a gift. So I don't know, I like to carry things, I guess. So here we go. So here's I like how these are going together. They're going together pretty smoothly. But I did look at my clock. I am kind of running on the wire. I'm going to have to head down to town to the bank here shortly. But I thought I would get all these ready for like the final stitching around like this part. And then once I do those, then I'll do the bias tape part. But I thought I'd get this last one top stitched and in the works here. And yeah, so in any event, we're moving along, getting things done and enjoying things. So I'm not sure if anybody will like this type of content. You can let me know if you thought it was really boring. Or if it's one of those things you could just kind of let play while you're doing something else and you really don't have to pay attention. Because we're not really doing anything important. We're just kind of gabbing. So, yeah. But I do have, after this event, I have another doll show that I love to do, and it's the Wagon Wheel Dollars show. And I mean dollars as in one who does dolls, like D-O-L-L-E-R-S, not the money, dollars. And there's another show put on by the Wagon Wheel Dollars that it used to be at the Polk County Fairgrounds here in Oregon, out by Rick Reel, but it has moved and will now be in Albany. And I'll have to look and see, like, as far as details. All I know at this point is that it's in Albany. I know I've read the address and where it is, but I couldn't tell you because I don't remember. Because as far as my brain is concerned, I don't need to know that information right now. So maybe in post I'll put it in here. But that show will be in September. And yeah, that's a great place to find dolls of all kinds. And yeah, if you want to come and find things to add to your collection, or find accessories and clothing and dolly items, all kinds of things. So it's always a fun show. And I'm interested in our new location and finding out what that's going to be like. So yeah, that'll be in September. So yeah. And if you are wanting to start into the BJD hobby, but you think, well, you know, it's just so expensive, I will recommend kind of what I do because I realize it's so expensive. But I like to get creative when there's a specific doll that I want to get or build. I will give a disclaimer. There are a couple dolls that, like, one of them is my favorite sculpt of all time, and I did buy that doll in entirety secondhand, but I probably spent almost as much as her secondhand as I would new, but she's no longer available. And that was my Angel Studio Huarong. And she is my favorite little gal. And when I saw her available, I I jumped at it because she is lovely. The one that I wanted, if I would have been ordering her, would have been in the milky white skin, but this one was in just white resin, but I didn't care, so I did order her. And then the Angel Studio Jing in gray resin, and she is also so pretty. But those are I think they're the only two dolls that I've ordered that have like a higher end price tag, and I ordered them in entirety. Most of my other dolls, I will get a body from just a company that has a lower price point, and then I will save up and get the head sculpts that I want from whatever company or artist that is doing the particular head sculpt that I want. And it's just kind of a way to save money. So for example, my Professor Snape, the head came from an artist in Italy, Hewley Dolls, and she has a shop on Etsy. But the body was an Angel Studio body I got secondhand off of eBay, but it was only like $170. I don't remember, something like that. But here's the deal. The seller did not have his hands. And so I happen to have an extra set of resin sole hands. So my Professor Snape has the head from an artist in Italy, the body is from Angel Studio, and the hands are from resin sole, which I already had. So I was able to create him without putting out a ton of money for a doll in its entirety, just by shopping around and looking around. All of my BTS fellas have various artists sculpted heads, and then the bodies were either secondhand or I got them from a company that just has a lower price point and they were on sale. And I think the only one, well, yeah, because even the Switch body for Jimin was on sale secondhand, so I got that body, but the hands were too big for him, so I put the hands on another guy and switched them out. So they're all kind of Frankenstein together and to create what I want. But that way you can find things and put things together and kind of come up with the characters that you want without having that giant price tag that's often associated with a doll like full set. And I will admit I do have the luxury of making my clothes myself, so whatever outfit I want I can make myself. But anyway, just a thought. So here are our little bags. They're ready to sew here, which I think I'm going to put on a zipper foot in order to go around that seam and just keep it a little more narrow. So yeah, so I will be doing that, but I do need to break, I think, here, run to the store, go to the bank, and start getting everything kind of put together. Then I can finish these up a little bit later. But I think I've rambled enough. I think I've gabbed on long enough. If you found this entertaining and it was relaxing just to hear me gab for a while, let me know in the comments. If you thought it was really boring and really a waste of time, let me know that in the comments, and I won't do it anymore. So in any event, yes, I'm going to finish up here, get this kind of organized, head down to the store, do my things, and yeah, get ready for our show this weekend. So if you could come to the show, I will see you there, and if not, I will see you in the next video. Bye!